Hey, it's Vincent here. Real quick before we begin this video, I just wanted to throw this in here to let you know that some of what's going to be said, some of what you're going to see is very, let's say, authentic takes. And I did do my best to try to play both sides, still manning it and trying to make sure that, you know, we're not too hard on anything. But at Vindicated, we never want to be inauthentic. Authenticity is very important to us. And while I'm someone who's very optimistic, someone who's very much someone that likes to see things on the bright side, I love celebrating people, I love seeing the good in things. It's kind of a tough balance sometimes if you run into some issues that you have, you know, because we don't want to come across as being people that hate anything, but we don't want to come across as, or you know, we don't want to just sit here and like hate on things, but we also don't want to pretend like we love them either. So just keep in mind, and also some of the things that are being said may irritate you, but if you wait until it's completed, you might see that there's a response that I counter with that sort of brings up a different point. So I just want to throw that out there. Hopefully you still enjoy the video and our take. If you want to see our gameplay, that's in a separate video. We still had lots of fun playing the game, and I think it's definitely worth watching. It was a fun time. But I just wanted to provide this little bit of context before you jump into the rest of it. Hopefully you enjoy it. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and as always, stay awesome. What do you guys think about, I guess, the game as a whole, I guess is a good place to start?
I thought it was interesting. I think there's some things that need a little more explaining or more clarity, but with this being not an official launch for it just yet, just a minute, I can't really complain.
And this is your first RPG you played that's not Otherworlds, right?
Fucking.
Oh yeah,
Soulbound.
and Soulbound. Okay.
Yeah.
And so now you played 3 different ones, so you can kind of see how they're all the same type of game, but they all play a little differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it felt different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially because there's no like movement or anything. It's just like, hey, what do you want to do? Fuck.
I definitely like Otherworlds more than this.
Yeah. But that's
we're not making this a competition, guys. Okay. What do you guys think? Aside from that.
Go ahead, Abby.
It wasn't bad.
But
I don't know. I kind of feel like there wasn't enough going on. Actually.
With what?
With.
do you think if it added? Because I think I know what you're about to say. Do you think if there's like figures and stuff we can move with or use, it would help a little bit?
Well, not that per
Okay.
se. It's just that like, I don't know. It doesn't. Well, maybe it is. I don't know.
Like when you say more stuff, are you thinking more in terms of like what your character could do, or like kind of like that kind of more of that, or more like the story, like where in the story you felt kind of like nebulous, where you didn't know what to do, in, as far as that, or is it more of your own character type stuff?
It is both. I mean, I can't entirely judge the game on this like pre-made adventure.
Yeah, of course.
But I still, like, I've played your pre-made adventures and still felt like I had more direction and yet also more freedom somehow at the same time.
That'd be a good combination for sure.
Yeah. But also, I don't know, I mean, most of my abilities, I guess could be useful, but I feel like for this particular story, they weren't that helpful. Like Suspicious Mind, where I can make someone tell the truth, like, or, you know, what are you feeling? What do you really want right now? What are you worried about? What are you about to do? Like, I can't think of very many situations where that actually would have helped anything.
Yeah, I mean, the only time, like, maybe with the guy who, kind of the gang dude that was in there, but you could have just been like, well, who are you? And he tells you, but then you're like, well, okay, maybe you would have just told me anyways.
Yeah.
Or something.
You just told me without that. Okay, bitch.
So yeah, like, for your character in particular, the only thing you got to do is, like, shoot your arrow, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I get that. I will say, I did run the adventure exactly how it was written. The only things I added was I added the dialogue and some of the personalities.
I was going to say, I was going to say that I feel like the only thing that really made me have fun was just how silly we were making some of these people.
Which, granted, Avatar lends itself to being silly because the show itself is silly.
Yeah.
So I felt very comfortable running it that way. As far as like what they give us here for how the characters are, they don't give, from what I saw, they didn't really give much of a personality, but they kind of give like a motivation. So they say like, Sun Po is, a merchant, and she cares about herself, and she's like kind of greedy and stuff. So they mentioned that, and I just kind of extrapolated from there. Nuon, they basically just say everything I told you guys, but they do mention that he doesn't want to be violent at all and runs for his life, and he will not put you guys in danger. But if it's between saving himself, or like putting himself in danger and maybe dying, he would prioritize saving himself. So that didn't really come up, but that is a thing that could happen. Weirdly enough, they don't have a character or an enemy in here for the guards, which I thought was strange. They have it for gang members and the general of the guards, and the leader of the gang. But for the guards, I just basically used the gang for that.
Interesting.
Yeah. And in here, there's the fire finches, which we didn't get to, but they're basically like a group of street kids who commit petty crimes. They don't really explain how. So the way that this adventure is laid out is they don't tell you how to necessarily tie everything into the story. They just give you all the pieces and say like, well, you kind of make the story. The only story that they tie in is the clock, where it's like at this point in the clock this happens, this point in the clock this happens, this point, this point. But as far as like if you run into the gang or the fire finches or Sun Po or whoever, that's like up to whoever runs the game, like who you run into and how that plays out. They just give you the pieces to kind of put together, and they give you a little bit of structure of the clock. As far as like you asked me if it was like if this was on you guys being bad or doing bad or your decisions, in here it says that you advance the clock every time something big happens in the story, or if something drags out for a long time. It could be either way. So it's a way to just keep the momentum moving forward, which I actually really do like the idea of the clock. I thought that was a really cool idea, where they gave like specific events, and it actually helps keep track of the day and like a progression of like what can happen and stuff. So I did like this aspect of the pre-made event. This is actually probably my favorite part of it, actually. Like that might be something that I'd be looking into incorporating, not for like in every time we play, but like for a pre-made adventure, or like a one time, if it fit the setting and what we're doing. I do feel like things that I may have missed, I feel like I didn't miss really anything with the adventure. I feel like I pretty much nailed the adventure. I feel like I made this about as fun as someone could. The only thing I feel like I may have not quite understood was the balance tracker. Because this didn't really seem to come into play much, and I think that might be a little bit more on me, maybe. Like, maybe there's... Like, I don't know when those pluses and minuses happen, necessarily, so I feel like that was a aspect that was probably more on me than the game.
One that just doesn't seem very useful, to be perfectly honest.
Well, it might be. It's just something that I didn't quite get enough, I guess. Like, as we were playing it, it didn't, like, come up in a way where I understood exactly how to use it, because there is ways for it to move one way or another. There's ways to have it affected, like people can call you out and it can throw you off your balance and stuff.
Like, you a bitch.
But that I might need to see an example of for me to get a better idea of how that works. So some of the actual gameplay mechanics, I would say. I think I mostly did well, but there's a few things I didn't do well with it. The adventure, I think I did really well. The combat, I did mostly right. I kind of fumbled at the very beginning because I'm so used to turns. I think turns is such an easier thing of like, okay, now it's your turn, now it's your turn, now it's your turn.
Yeah.
But here it's the idea is like you're playing out a sequence, and then you have to like choose your actions like in secret, and then say what you want to choose, and like no one necessarily has the initiative, and then you play it out like in a certain way. And I don't think I quite did it right, but it's also like kind of confusing. So I get the idea behind it though. It's wanting to play out more like less rigid is the idea. It wants to play out less rigid, but it can be hard, I think, sometimes for humans to calculate something like to that level in a way.
Yeah.
I will say, like, my takeaway from it is it's just, for a game that's about Avatar The Last Airbender, it's like they don't really have any grounded reality in what actually makes an Avatar game. It's like none of the stuff actually tracks with what actually goes on in the show at any point.
What's an example?
Well, I mean, like, there's no balance BS in Avatar. There's no stats, and I mean, the combat itself is just kind of janky and very, like, one-off. I mean,
I do think balance plays a decent part in Avatar because they have a book called Balance for Legend of Korra for one of her seasons.
right, but what I mean is, like, as a mechanic, it doesn't make any sense. Because it's like, what's it do? Does it shift my moral alignment? Does it shift my ability to care? Or am I more forceful if one's higher than the other one? And then it's like, you know, getting punched so hard you become angry, foolish, guilty, insecure. What? I mean, it's...
Okay, I like the idea of the balance thing. I do understand though how it can be silly if you get punched hard enough that you become angry, foolish, insecure. I get
And
that
then it
part.
just becomes a cascading point of you're taking disadvantages on your poor rolls.
Mhm.
And the game already requires, what, a 10 to be remotely successful in most
Yeah,
things?
which granted, you guys, I feel like were more successful than unsuccessful.
Yeah, but it's still pretty stupid to have a 10 on a 12 on a possibility of 12 that you can roll.
Well, I mean, you do get,
You get
know,
small little
bonuses.
buffs, yeah, but it's just like it's...
I don't know, I think the numbering was right. Like, it seems like balanced as far as the number stuff goes.
I mean, the numbers themselves weren't bad
Yeah.
per se. It's just like, it's like once you start taking hits, you're just stuck in a loop where you can't reset yourself.
How did it feel to not have me roll? I know that I roll a lot in other worlds. It's like a big thing.
I mean, it's uneasy because you don't know whether you're actually like, you know, having the GM essentially not roll is like, well, I mean, how do I know that they actually saw me? It's just...
Yeah, you know, for some people, the fact that Other Worlds has a world master who rolls dice is actually like a deal breaker. Like people.
I mean, that's stupid because, I mean, same thing happens with D&D is you roll for stuff to happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
This game is very much meant to be a diceless GM system.
which is completely, for me, I'm actually
But
against
I'm
this.
not hard. I mean, if someone likes it, I'm not like saying that you're wrong or you're
I
bad
will.
or anything.
I will.
I'm not. No, I'm not saying. That.
I absolutely will because it gives because it's like
You a
the,
bitch.
while I understand that it's okay for GMs to BS some things, there should still be some accountability for the GM BSing things. You roll for how you're hitting me because it's not fair otherwise. You can't just say, "Oh, I hit you."
Well, the way it works in here is you. Well, it kind of ends up being like you determine if I hit you because so I don't roll for the attack, but you roll to see if you defend the attack, which is how that played out. So like.
Yeah, but you see what I mean? Is
Yeah.
it's like there's no like risk reward to it. There's no, and I mean then it's,
Because that the Fire Sage Bai guy, every time he tried to hit you, you always dodged it and like punched him in the face.
yeah.
Boom. Fuck you.
And I couldn't do anything about it. He only had one move, and he was not doing well.
And my one move is basically I'm upset. Fire Sage Bai is my enemy, and basically everything's geared towards punch him until he stops moving.
Yeah. Now I will say I liked how Zach had this whole thing where he could sort of heal himself by doing these weird tasks in the day. That like he could punch someone that he shouldn't in the face to like have like a to regain some of his energy and
It's
stuff.
like if you
Yeah.
want to see something completely nuts, yeah. If you want to see something completely nuts, clearing the conditions is absolutely, it's stupid. It's beyond stupid. Angry, break something important, or put others in danger. That's how you clear angry.
You know, I didn't actually.
Afraid, run from danger or difficulty. Foolish, take foolhardy action while talking to your companions, or without talking to your companions. Guilty, make a personal sacrifice to absolve your guilt. And insecure, offer aid or support to someone competent. So basically, you're just saying that your character can't make a sound decision because he got punched.
I mean,
It's stupid.
Yeah, I think you definitely like having freedom and
Yeah,
and
like,
being able to role play your character.
I don't like a game
This-
system that's going to tell me how I'm going to act as a character.
Yeah,
Like
this very
that right
much has
there-
like a lot to it.
Yeah,
when it
that
comes
right
to
there is the railroading crap that actually kind of sucks in role-playing games because that's railroading, 100%.
Which is weird because this is a different type of like I haven't really seen railroading in this way though because like normally railroading is like I'm running the game,
And this,
I'm gonna run you through the story the way I want you to.
and the thing is, it's not even good railroading. It's bad. It's phenomenally bad railroading. So you mean to tell me this is kid-friendly and one of the things is question the adults? Well, that's real great. You know, I'm sure having a kid roleplay, I don't believe your rules.
And then punch him in the face.
And then, yeah, or like, you know, having your deliberately enticing your characters to essentially break someone else's character immersion because they got punched.
Wait, this is kid friendly? Ooh, fuck.
I mean, it's supposed to be, but where kids can.
It's supposed to be like the game itself is supposed to be.
But the thing
able
that,
to be
the
ran
thing that
family
like
friendly.
blows my mind off is trying to teach a kid the concept of things like offer aid or support to someone competent. What's a competent person? You're like 9. You wouldn't know.
It says offer support to someone who's competent.
Yes, offer aid or support to someone competent
Clearing insecurity.
for clearing insecurity.
I will say, I think all the other ones make more sense to me than that. Like that one, offer aid or support to someone competent. Like
None of these.
why
make
would
sense.
you want to support or aid someone who's if they're already competent, they wouldn't need your aid or support.
Yeah, and none of these make any sense in terms of gameplay. Like break something important or put others in danger. What if the only thing you have is the plot device?
I think the idea behind those is it's a way to add more like drama, tension, things happening in the story. Like
Yeah, but
if Zach's like, oh, like I let's say he breaks something important, so he's like afraid. He's like, these guards are gonna get us. These guards are gonna get us. And he's like, I don't know what to do, guys.
so he picks up an urn and smashes it so the guards hear us.
Fuck you, Grandma.
Like,
yeah, I couldn't think of anything
Like-
actually. I was like trying to think of something clever. And I was
like that's foolish and angry cleared. He's done that. But the thing is, it's like there's a difference between offering drama and essentially manufacturing drama for the sake of your character getting a small buff. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like I'm trying to decide too. Like, do you think this could be good for someone who's like not creative, like someone who like they kind of need help, like trying to manufacture drama because they couldn't think of things on their own?
I mean,
It
Maybe.
could be. Yeah.
it could be, but then again, it's like my issue with it is it's too much that's written out for too little to actually pay off for like character growth and development. Like this is very much like it's like a tabletop game built by people that have built board games all their life. It's very much like two-dimensional characters that don't have any potential for growth because they're very kept in by what they can do. And I mean, you know, it is critical. I mean, it is a simple.
I know you're a firebender, but damn, Corey.
It's a very simplistic game. Like I'm going to say that this is not going to wow anybody.
Well, I mean, it's made millions of dollars.
I mean, I'm sure it
That's
has,
turning.
but it doesn't matter. I mean, if your game's crap, you can make as many million as you want. It's still a crap game.
What do you think of like the health system with like having fatigue?
It's
and...
stupid. Because my character has an entire mechanic where it adds fatigue. So basically, I hurt myself to actually be able to use half of my moveset.
Okay, what do you think of the stats, like your creativity, focus, harmony, passion?
I mean, there's no application to it. So basically, I can pick the one that has the highest bonus, come up with some contrived reason, and only use that. I mean, why would I use my -1 to focus? Like, boy, I sure want to roll worse.
Yeah, well, it's like I think it's up to me to tell you, but just everything you did. I mean, it's like, oh well, you're angry, so a lot of things you do.
It's passion, yeah.
It's gonna go off of passion. So
And it's like, you know, as a gamer too, it's like I'm going to try to make metagaming decisions to make my thing.
yeah,
where
for
it
not to
works.
be harmony. Yeah.
Because it's like, and definitely not be focused. I don't give a shit about taking the -1. I mean, thank you, I guess, for giving me a handicap already.
So how about this? What was your favorite thing about it?
I mean, pretty much just you coming up with a way to actually steer this contrived train wreck.
Okay, so you think I actually steered it well and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay,
mean,
cool.
I mean,
appreciate it.
the things that you added to it were probably the best elements. The game itself can kick rocks. I mean, it kind of sucks.
I'll say I one thing with me running, I kind of liked how they set it up, but I would suggest that if you're watching this, I think it would be cool to add just random NPC names
Yes.
and to add in the guards as a stat block, and at least those. But I mean, I don't have much complaints about the adventure itself because I think the way it was set up was good at least.
And I mean, I'm more critical, but then again, I mean, I'm kind of like the counterbalance, where it's like I believe that good game design is one of the principles of a game. Like, if you're going to take millions of dollars to get officially licensed, at least make your game good. Because you've had the time, you've got the resources, there's no excuse for it being this simplistic. Because it's like, you know, you're taking a franchise and you're trying to make it into something, and this seems like someone that just kind of went like, Avatar, that's what we're doing. And then, like, maybe they watched a few episodes to get an idea, but that's about it. Like,
Yeah.
this is kind of... this is soulless corporate shilling at its finest.
Now I know that Corey's being harsh, but
This is his opinion.
But I also, in a way, I'm gonna think of how to put this.
Corey's in it.
In a way I feel bad for the game, and another way I feel amused, I guess, for myself that you're part of this team, and with you being this harsh about this game, you definitely don't say these things about the games that I've worked on and stuff. So I feel accomplished as a game designer.
But the thing is, it's like, you know, I believe that if a game needs work or is bad or something, like even if it's one of the games that you've made, I'm not going to be the one that tells you something for the sake of telling you to make you feel good. I'm going to tell you something in a way that is fair, but also just kind of, I mean, I'm kind of more blunt with things, because I'm not going to waste words on telling you your game's bad by, you know, just being like, oh, well, the mechanics could use... No, it's bad. The whole thing's pretty bad.
Okay, so...
And with this one, it's like, I'm not going to say it's like Boss, where, you know, I just want to burn every copy I can find. But it is very much not a well-designed tabletop
Would you
game.
give this an X, like Bosk, or would you give it a Y, as in, like, why play it?
I'd give it a Y, because it's not irredeemable. There are things where if you took the time and actually workshopped this game, it would be a functional game, because it has the base mechanics.
Now, are you guys familiar that the base mechanics of this game is actually a very popular game system used in a lot of other games?
It is.
What,
Yes.
the D6?
No, it's called the for people watching this that know, I'm sorry, it's called something by the apocalypse or something about apocalypse.
It's basically like the kit design for it, where like GURPS is like foremost.
Yeah. So basically, they have a game called Dungeon World that uses the same system. They have a game that's about like a post-apocalyptic world, uses this system. They have one that's about like, it's called Root, and it has trees and stuff. I don't know what that's about necessarily. Maybe it's like a Boss the RPG.
Oh shit!
Wouldn't that be your worst nightmare?
Here we
Boss the
go
RPG
again.
with this system.
Round 2. Fight, motherfuckers!
But yeah, the guy who designed the system, his name's actually Vincent Baker.
Oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
So you know what that tells me? Vincent's been fucking foreshadowing. He's
Um,
gonna be successful someday. Is that how this shit works?
Yes.
Oh, good.
But yeah, like that system that he created is very like the base tenets of it is you roll 2d6. If you roll a 6 or lower, it's a failure. 7 to 9 is a like success with something bad that happens or something weird, and then 10 is a great success. And
Great
then the guy
success.
running the game doesn't roll dice, and then there's moves, and then the classes are set up this way, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say the base system itself is bad. It's just the way they implement it into this game is a little. It's not great.
Shitty.
So what was your favorite thing and least favorite thing about this?
Fuck, I wasn't paying attention. No,
Getting executed.
I didn't die. There's no paperwork that says I died.
You totally died.
Shut up.
Hey, at least people watching know this too. I feel like sometimes there's a concern where if we review a game and we're like, we love this game, it's awesome. Sometimes it can come across on certain channels like you're being shills, like you're just gonna say it's great and all
Yeah,
this
like
stuff.
the company paid you, or you're essentially applying for the sponsorship. or something
And there's
like
a
that.
weird way that I feel both ways because like authenticity is by far the most important thing to me, so I want to be authentic no matter what. But it is tough because I don't want to be like overly harsh and critical, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I also like what's even worse to me is if people feel like we're being shills and are lying about how we feel just so we can try to make sales or trick people, because that is something that we do not do, and I don't want people thinking that.
So when are we cashing that check that they gave us for this game?
Boy, not
They
me.
would hate.
I was gonna say, boy, yeah, they're taking that check back. buddy.
Yeah, we are not getting paid.
Fucking, it's already cashed.
Yeah, because I've already I chapped their brand pretty hard there, Zach. They wouldn't give us a check for that.
Nah, they will. They'll give me a check instead. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
have your name spelled wrong though, so you could never cash it.
Fuck it. No, I think it's one of those things where this game, the things I liked the most was the freedom of like what you can do, just because you can, based on some stuff I've seen online, is there's games where you really don't have freedom. Like when I was saying, like, yeah, I'm a waterbender, and you're like, what? You're a waterbender? He's a waterbender over there.
Yeah, but that's with any role playing.
Yeah,
game
but I've
or
seen
role-playing.
some where like people have made games based off like childhood TV show or cartoons and shit, and it's just like, it's like, oh, can I sit? No, you have to like.
Well,
like,
that's mostly a bad that's mostly a bad game.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of people like, I can't remember what.
I get what you're saying. Too railroady.
Yeah, there's too much railroad. To this, fucking, we had 3 different adventures going at one point almost. So, I think one of my favorites was when I threw the scroll. I was like, take the scroll, and then I fell back, and I just think it's an action movie. It's just like.
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying. There's nothing written in this that led to that. That was more of us as a group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your single least favorite thing?
I think just like the lack of really knowing how certain stuff was supposed to go. Like I could tell you were struggling at points trying to figure out like what to do or not what to say, but like, okay, how is this really supposed to be?
Yeah, I'll take the
Well, and
blame for some of that.
Well, and I think
sure.
too right now with them being, you know, it's not like this is a published game. Like they're working on a lot of different stuff with it right now.
Yeah, it will likely be very similar to this though.
It will be similar, but I think there will be a lot more things cleared up. It's just like when we've done because I was here from when Guillotine started from start to finish, and seeing how much work went into that, and they were getting a lot bigger budget to work on shit compared to us. So I think, you know, when this comes out, there'll be more detailed and better ways to do stuff than what there is.
Well, that's what I'm wondering too. Is it's like, you know, they got this big budget of millions of dollars. I'm not seeing that budget anywhere. Like.
This was made before the budget.
Yeah,
Okay,
this was made. Yeah,
I
this was made.
I was gonna say because so far not impressed by what they've done with the budget.
Let me do.
No, they haven't gotten the money doesn't come to them until after the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So.
But it's like, you know,
Here we go.
with Kickstarters like this, I don't really believe.
I mean,
that
the character sheets look nice.
They had a $50,000 goal. So how much do you think they're at right now?
$6 million.
No, they're probably like 38 million.
Wow. 38 or 3.8.
3.8.
3.8 million right on the dot.
See? They hit 3 million really quickly, but right now it's going to slow down.
Yeah.
But
And
by
what was their
by the time they get to the end,
50.
though, they're probably going to close out at like 7.1 million. That's my guess. They're going to close out
Don't
at
look at the
7.1
porn.
million.
I don't care.
Abby, what was your favorite and least favorite thing?
Was it being my best
About
friend?
about the game itself, if you can try to make it about the game
It
itself.
was being my best friend.
That made both things about me.
It's because you're a shitty person. Kidding.
Okay.
Like, I remember, well, I won't get into that, but yeah.
Oh shit.
It wasn't about you, Zach.
Corey's scrolling through right now.
I mean, even though I felt like the moves I had didn't help me out that much, I feel like if I had gotten to use them, it would have been cool.
So you feel like they're cool ideas.
Yeah.
Like, there's like some cool ideas for the abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Least favorite thing.
Did you like the idea of the Protector's Burden and like how they are like, oh well, you can switch someone if they are no longer present or if this or that and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool.
Okay, so not completely sold on it. It's just like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, it's just not very good.
I'm right here.
Like, I'm even reading it, like, rereading through the Kickstarter, it's just, everything's just, like, they've already got everything laid out for, like, their expansion packs and stuff like that, which is cool. They've got their whole game design ready, but it's just playing what they've got so far. It's just not that good from what I'm seeing.
Alright, so was that your favorite thing or least favorite thing?
That was my favorite
Okay.
thing.
What was your least favorite thing?
Probably just that it didn't feel like there were any real stakes.
Why do you think that was? Well, I mean, he died.
Well,
Only because I'm
Died. yeah, I mean, he got captured. We technically could have gone back to save him. And then,
Yeah, he could have.
Like, I don't know. No one is really losing health. I mean, I know that we're getting fatigued or whatever. But
So like that's the thing too. It just felt like there wasn't much consequences or tension.
yeah.
Do you feel like in like other games there might be like more tension when there's combat where it's like, oh man, this is getting like intense. This is
Definitely.
like
Yeah.
okay. Is it interesting to see how another game is designed where it's like, huh, like this is I can see how they're the same genre, but this is
All the porn's on here now.
Yeah.
Does this feel like Avatar to you guys? Like the world of Avatar at all?
No.
Kind of.
It's one of those things I'm going to say right now is that without there being any sort of a picture layout or an actual...
I'm going to be honest.
That needs his Legos.
I'm going to be honest.
Not well.
And, like, again, chap the company's ass, but this is basically like the OC Sonic level creation of Avatar.
I don't know if that is, but I think I get your point.
What,
like-
Sonic 2?
Yeah, it's basically OC Sonic, where it's like you're never going to be the Avatar. Like you might have their, what do they call them, legends, where you, oh my god, I get to meet Korra, or oh my god, I get to meet what's her, but you're never going to be
What's
able
her?
to play them. Like it's
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to play Korra though, right?
no, and you wouldn't want to play Zuko, but everyone wants to play a character that's basically Zuko but not.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be the Prince Firelord. No, that's not how the game's set up. It's like there's just no.
Do you think it'd be better if they removed the Avatar characters, where it's just like you can be the prince and like just ignore that Zuko ever existed?
You
I
could
mean,
be.
I'm sure there's a way to.
Well, yeah, you could just fudge it and say that if
handle
you
it,
wanted to.
but,
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, I guess it's just. My favorite point was, yeah, I mean, you know, me and Abby fighting in the burning warehouse. I mean,
Oh.
that's a pretty cool moment, but.
Yeah. It was the first time you really got to have your action or let the action shine for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time where it actually felt like there was some kind of action or actually plot device, albeit.
I will say I did think of something else that I don't know if it's part of the system, like the core system or this particular take on it, but it did not list how many enemies to throw at you guys. Like I had no, like it didn't tell me like, oh, do this if you want it to be difficult, do this
Yeah,
if you
there's
want it
no
to be
like
easy.
challenge level reading.
No, like none at all. So it was like I had no idea. I was just kind of just going by like feeling of like I guess this guy will have 2 guards show up, but I don't know. I don't know if the way I did it for you guys was like easy mode or hard mode or what. You know, so I don't think that's the point. I think this game's probably meant to be more about the stories you tell and less about it being challenging or difficult or like you feel like you're gonna die or like it's tense. I feel like this is meant to be like let's just have some fun role playing. We're gonna have some weird interactions and some drama because this guy has to break one of our things because he's upset or you know whatever it may be. I think it's aiming for something a lot different, you know. So
Yeah.
but I think that covers everything as
Yeah, I'm
far
hungry.
as you know what we have to discuss about it. Sorry if that's a downer. Hopefully at the very least you enjoyed our adventure. 'Cause even with you guys not being sold on the game, I think you guys at least had fun in the adventure for like what it was and had a good time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I mean,
I had a good time running.
Yeah, I
it.
mean, it was certainly interesting, and I mean, there was entertainment to be had. It's just I wouldn't say it's particularly good in and of itself.
Yeah,
Like,
it was more like our group was able to make it fun.
yeah, we're able to make it fun, but it's one of those things where it's like it's just.
It'd be better to make instead of trying to work to make something fun. It'd be better to play a fun game that you don't have to work hard
Yeah,
to make
essentially where it's already kind of like out the box,
fun. Yeah.
where it's kind of fun. I mean, and that's easy to say with a lot of games. I mean, you know, you can only make an RPG as fun as the people that are playing it. But at
For
the same
sure.
time, it's like, you know, if the rules are dry and the design's janky, then it's just going to be that much more that you have to overcome and make it good. And this is one of those games where it's not in a place where I would call it good right now.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do for this game, but I'm happy that people are into Avatar. I'm happy to see that it's successful. I'm happy to see that, Avatar Studios is now a thing. They're creating more animations, movies. They're starting to crank out a lot of stuff. So we're going to start seeing Avatar kind of explode in sort of like a Marvel type way, but Avatar, which is something I'm more connected to. So I'm happy about that. So if this helps that, then I'm fully on board with that.
Word.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to give us a subscribe. Be sure to like, comment. Let us know what you think of the game, what you thought of our adventure, what was your favorite moment, your least favorite moment, all that good stuff. And we'll catch you next time. Stay awesome.
The video's over, but this was made by Patrons.
We really appreciate what you've done for us, and we'd appreciate it if you'd continue following us further at patreon.com/Vindicated Entertainment.
Yeah, you guys. Be sure to check out some more of our videos, okay? Bye.
That one.